Hawksley Workman. He's an altogether unexpected musician. If you harbor the stereotype that rock musicians are monosyllabic and incoherent, think again. Hawksley was a public speaking champion in his youth. He's a very disciplined individual and has an altogether original musical style. Hawksley Workman.
Such an event for the community. So lovely to be here. Welcome to my apartment. With all of these developments going on, I've been relegated to a small space. A lovely space, I say, but the TV's finally working, although it hasn't been. And as an artist in the city, I fear that I'll have to leave and maybe take up residence somewhere else where me and my musician friends can play together and focus on what we love. And what do we love, I wonder? Oh. I love Mr. Lonely. No morning, Johnny. I've been broken too much before. And the girls are on display in the window, and the boys are in the freezer room. I've been crushed by too many Johnnies. Now I never want to hear that name, no, no. 'Cause there's a fist full of flowers in the window you gave me when I got off the plane. 'Cause you've been chasing me, yeah, falling down old spring-fed wells. Oh, fall, farewells. You see my bald spot? To certify I was born. Oh, my mother was a hairdresser. Oh, those fall farewells, oh, they get us every time. They get us every time. And no morning, Johnny. I've been standing in the rain since June, oh no. And I wound up my watch till I broke the springs. No, I'll never have the time for you. Shoo-ba-be-doo. 'Cause you're a cold and lonely Johnny. Do you ever drive an ice cream truck? Well, off the highway to a clear-cut track, to that dirty place where we got stuck. when you lose your wonder, you seek it in other places, and some people risk themselves and their families, and they smoke things, and others drink like me, or some just retain that youthful energy by bouncing around on stage. And I can imagine if he's missing the graduation, that she's missing him. I remember sitting in French class and touching myself when I should have been learning the language. Oh, Mr. Trudeau, how will he ever remember my telephone number? How will he ever remember me? Oh, is that all right? Well, you can be sure I'll never whisper those words. Well, you can be sure I'll never whisper those words. Everybody else talked and I'm singing. You can be sure that I'll never whisper those words. No, no. Todd, Mr. Lonely, as I like to call him, can you cue up the next piece of music? Oh, thanks. My birthmark. Well, when I was a kid, see, the thing that I keep thinking about today is, I've had this awful cramp since I woke up. It's like I was swimming in my dreams all night. It hasn't gone away. But, and the set, in my living room, which I can't stand the mess. With, can you still hear me? Ooh, hear me over here? It's such a tiny place, though. There's no need to yell. I was gonna, I got this call to do this. It's funny, I got 2 letters in the mail, one from Moses and one from Prince Charles. Naturally, I was nervous about one and not so nervous about the other, but I was thinking while I was away that maybe I would act like a monkey on stage, because you know how devolutionary language is and how the intellect is really a disease, and all these words can all be, filtrated, broken down into edible monkey noises. And that's all good. I think that's encouraging. But I was also going to interview my grandmother because I knew this was an event for the hipsters, and I'm never that hip. And I wanted to really focus on where the truth lies. And my grandmother has enough truth to go around. She should be selling some of it, probably. And I would have her there, and I would ask her about the war and how she makes pickles and about how the garden's growing. And my grandfather just passed away, and so she's taking care of the garden on her own, and her ankle's bothering her, so it makes it tricky to get all that needs to get done. And she's special, and that was something that I was thinking of doing. Oh, that was the other thing. I was also in Central America for a while, and I was in a lot of taxi cabs where they were playing mariachi music, and I thought, somehow I'd like to incorporate that. Then Mr. Lonely dropped by, and then I thought, well, given the set, I should be using this set, and you can still see my birthmark, and I've never seen it, and it's really nice to be surrounded by so many televisions. I feel right at home as a 20-something, but what I say is this, a phenomenon, a community phenomenon, and that's what we're experiencing here on some levels. And on a lower level, I would say, the lawn sale, which I walked by a few today, or the promise of a few this weekend at least. And my dad, he's in town tonight, and I'm supposed to entertain him. He's hard to entertain sometimes, but one thing he's good at is a lawn sale, and we've been doing them our whole lives. And over here, can you still hear this? This is a lot like the lawn sale we would have had as kids. And my dad is a brilliant salesman. I'm the kind of person that pays full price and then sells it in the buy and sell for half of what I paid. But my dad is the kind of person... How you doing, Mr. Longley? That is able to turn and make a profit despite how embarrassing it is for his family. And, you know, it's funny, when you approach a lawn sale, you always walk by it once because this is somebody's private life out on the lawn here, and it's tricky to peer in such an intimate way. But so you always walk by it once, and you take in the goods peripherally. It's all subtle. And I've done this my whole life, so I understand. And of course, you leave a few items plugged in, at least the ones that work. And you get the lookers who rub and tap and ask you how much and want to talk you down. And my dad would never be talked down. And this one time he brought home a wooden kayak. And he thought my brother and I would really be fond of this wooden kayak, but I think its buoyancy would be doubtful. And he thought he was really doing something for us. And my brother and I both said, no, this kayak's terrible. But he bought it for $15, and he'd be able to turn a profit on the kayak. And so we put it on our front lawn. Probably dragged it up himself because we didn't even want to touch it. Oh, is this all right? Is this what you're supposed to do here? I wonder who changes those light bulbs. And that Greenspan, who I can't keep thinking about Norman Greenbaum, who sang Spirit in the Sky, but it made me think, too, that sometimes you have your speech prepared, and then sometimes, as an artist, I'm dedicated to the idea that work and inspiration they're like brothers or sisters, or at least close cousins, and that if you're not working, those angels of inspiration, when they creep by to drop, and you're busy living the life of Riley with Daisy in your teeth and the grass is blowing. And I'm just saying that it's quite wonderful when you live in the moment and just see, whether those angels, maybe the same ones that change the light bulbs, will come by and give you words to say, or allow you to meet people like Mr. Longley or Moses, or, even come here and bring your liquor and a couple of heads on a stick and a bullhorn just to make you feel like home. And so, with the boats, we heard so many sales pitches that whole summer about the boat, and it was dreadful, and every one was as embarrassing as the last. And as fall grew near, my dad got desperate. His desperation never leads to a sale price, just to more desperate sales tactics. Okay, so it happened. So you can smell a buyer. I think he probably didn't even sleep the night before he sold it. And my brother and I, to be thoroughly entertained, would listen to the sales pitch. And sure enough, the question was, oh, this is nice, Todd. Hey, so I don't even remember now what I'm supposed to say. Oh, yeah. So how is it? And my dad, in the desperate moments of a late August day, she's a beauty. Wow. $150, you say, huh? $150. That's a bargain. Oh, I hope you're getting your $50 worth here, because this lawn sale is all about bargains. One thing about Toronto, it seems, is that in my day, you gave things away for $2 because it meant things that were dusty and terrible and just getting in your way could be given to somebody else at a token cost. $150, eh? I'll take it. Anyways, value, artists. Oh, this is my apartment. My red shoes. Everyone was wearing black shoes, and they would just sort of fade right into the stage. And I thought, well, hell, I'll make sure that I'm not fading at all. How's the song go, Todd? This is a song for my grandmother, who, when we would go over in the summer with our lawn sale money, we'd gamble with her, and help her roll cigarettes for my grandfather and wear lipstick to spend our money in town. Well, hang on now, hang on now, hang on there, paper shoes. Where do you think you're going now that it's raining? Oh, come on now, come on now, come on, you soggy old airplane wing. Now that we've heard you sing, we think you should wither. 'Cause singing is about sexual confidence. So sing out your guts if you feel good enough to let the moment just hit you. And the music befits you to let the berry juice just slide out from in between your legs, your intimate hideout. Don't mind to be naked. I still like to feel the wind on all my soft places. Oh, well, you haven't killed that yet, although you've been trying. It's hard to get on with your poking and your prying, but I have, or at least I think I have. And I should have been a girl. Oh, the way I can dance, my moves are amazing. You may think that you want to try to fancy me, but I don't recommend. I'll blow the roof right off this place. And dancing is about sexual confidence. So shake up your stuff if you feel good enough to let the moment just hit you. If the music befits you out, and let the berry juice just slide out from in between your legs, your intimate hideout. I've been sick with a summer cold pretty much since I got home from Europe 2.5 weeks ago. And on your days off when you're sniffling and driffling and anything else that rhymes with sniffling, whiffling, you're given time to really just hate things, I suppose. And I don't want to hate, I want to celebrate beauty and taking your head off and keeping your heart on and giving it away for free sometimes and then not others. And then once you're in your apartment, you can have friends over and maybe treat them to a dinner because you fancy cooking, especially now that you've got that barbecue up and running. And you might be a vegetarian and all your friends might be too, but you can always barbecue tofu if you marinate it right. And I'm trying to remember I just wanted to really talk about my family, I think, because really, I got my birthmark to remind me that I was actually born. And even though in past lives I was other things, like in my direct past life I was a dog, and I know that because of my unending desire for chocolate. And everybody knows that chocolate is poisonous to dogs, and they spend whole lives with their tongues hanging out wanting chocolate every second of the day. And here I am, now a human finally, and I can eat all the chocolate I want, which is fantastic. And my grandfather, who was in the war, got married to my grandmother just 3 weeks before he left. And then he was gone for 4 years, and my grandmother opened a hair salon up on Yonge and Eglinton, would always use her hard-earned money to go see tarot card readers so that she could check in on the well-being of my grandfather who was away fighting. And, you know, it's crazy then, no telephones, just like England at work. And here we have telephones in Idea City, and the whole city is full of ideas all of a sudden. And I'm going to hope to save up enough money to get cable television on that little TV. And my grandfather came home, and he was all bald, and she'd married a man with hair. And she's a hairdresser. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's my maternal grandfather, and my brother's got enough hair to market it to the third world. And so my mother, as a hairdresser as well, would tell me that, is this all right? You get your hair genes from your maternal grandfather, and I'm thinking, oh hell, well that's me. And can you still be sexy? Well, we'll see, I suppose. And then he got a VCR a couple of years before he died, which was around 1998. And you always think at Christmas time that you want to get your grandfather something special, but it's hard because you don't really understand, and he doesn't say much. And so you try, and he always gives a glance and a nod and a thank you Christmas morning, but you know you never hit the nail on the head. And then when he got his VCR, I got a video cassette of Hogan's Heroes, which was really the only thing that he ever watched on television when I was a kid, and it made me think, well, maybe it makes him remember the war in a way that he can handle. So I got him the video cassette of Hogan's Heroes, and his eyes lit up on Christmas morning, and for weeks after, he was thanking me for the Hogan's Heroes tapes that he was able to play on his VCR that he just bought, but he didn't really know how to use. But he did see. So don't you get lazy on me, sweet honey baby. Yeah. Fire up the cannons for me, sweet honey baby. 'Cause warm blue nights descend on you and me, sweet honey baby. So don't you get lazy, me, sweet honey baby. Don't breathe up on the ground. Just listen to that peach swamp swimming pool and let yourself free. No, a lily fit to rule the sky above, to rule the sky above. Oh, and I should have been, I should have been, I should have been, I should have been a girl. Oh, Mr. Trudeau's so cute. I don't care that he doesn't remember numbers. Oh, with the way I can dance. I'll just dance across that stage and get my diploma like it's no one's business. He'll see me. He'll see me. My moves are... Why, thank you. And the disappointment when his face isn't in the crowd. Amazing. My moves are amazing. And then, no. And then the last song, maybe, that we'll do. And the last thing I'll say, and I hope this has been fine and good. And what a great honor and pleasure to be here with my friend Mr. Lonely, whose real name is Todd Lumley. And to be closing such a fantastic... Yeah. So I think that I'll, maybe just play one song on the piano, and this evening, day, event, 3 days, off. We can all enjoy the rest of the weekend together, cutting a lawn, having a lawn sale maybe. So I'll just move this over. How about that? I'll do it in a way that you don't even know that I'm doing it. It'll be so slick. Sometimes slick is... I hope this has been all right. I'd like to meet that guy who does the lights. Is that all right? It's a prayer I wrote, and so it's meant to be sung prayerfully, or at least to be interpreted that way. That comes from my brain. Set house steady open up the door. We're all good people, we're all good people down here. And set house steady open up the door. We're all good people, we're all good people down here. I'm sure there are things you're simply not telling us. And I'm sure it's for, I should practice, our very own good. And sorry about the times our eyes weren't open. And sorry about the sadness in the sky. Yeah. And sad house daddy, open up the door. We're all good people, we're all good people down here. And sad house daddy, open up the door. We're all good people, we're all good people down here. And I'm sure there are things you're simply not telling us. And I'm sure it's for our very own good. And sorry for the times our eyes weren't open. And sorry about the darkness in the sky. Mr. Lonely, will you come out and do what we always do? That part where it's Christmas and you like carving the turkey and I let you? And as gracefully as it went to the piano, it comes to center stage. And thank you once again, and what a lovely opportunity. And if you think having a criminal record makes it difficult to get across to the American border, consider having doll heads on sticks as part of your show. Somewhere in a manual that was written in the 50s, a young, keen border guard who knows every word says, "Excuse me, mister, are those heads on sticks?" And so, yeah, of course they are, I say. And, you know, I'm really the simplest guy going, and for some reason I have my own seat in Canadian immigration and in American immigration. They know me by name now. And I try to break the ice with a little joke, where I always say something like this. "How do you like school, Billy?" And then this one here with the pink hair. I always think pink hair is funny, so I leave the punchline for it. How do you like school, Billy? Closed. Which is a joke I learned from a friend of mine in Phoenix. It's a desert there. How do you like school, Billy? I tried a second time because he hasn't laughed yet. And I need to make a gig in Chicago. Closed. And then I show him what the sticks are for. Closed. Did somebody say that we'll be home for dinner on time? Did somebody say that we'll be home for dinner on time? Oh, did somebody say that we'll be home for dinner on time? Have you given your 5 minutes? I wish you had. They like that part. That always gets me through. They said we weren't going to let you with all them hot moves. But since you brought it down to a human level and did that one stick thing, we think you're okay. And this is a keener. He's read all the words. And he knows the part that says, if the heads on sticks are in any way related to a dance routine that ends in a very human, monkey, bodily, non-intellectual, stimulating, crescendo-esque, elevating, who changes the lights?
Who changes the lights upstairs? I am a robot. Who changes the lights? Your dance moves are very good. I like the way you move. I like the way you dance with those heads on the sticks. And I think Mr. Lonely is cute and probably a good lover. And probably can cook.
Did somebody say that we'll be home for dinner on time? Did somebody say... Somebody say... Somebody say... Happy weekend, happy Idea City. Thank you so much. Thank you. A pleasure for us all. I'm certain to have been involved in such a wonderful 3 days. Thank you to Mr. Lonely and Mr. Moses Nymer, everybody, and the man who screws in the light bulbs. It only takes one. Cheers.